Hello everyone, it's Michelle, and on this Ark Crystal Isles video, I'm going to be showing you how to passively tame your very own Crystal Wyvern. Now there are three different types of wyverns that you can passively tame in the map. From left to right, we have the Blood Wyvern, the Ember Wyvern, and the Tropical Crystal Wyvern. And all three of these variants are tameable on the map passively. Now the thing is that you're going to need food to passively tame these creatures. You can use regular crystal, but it's really not recommended because once you go for a high level dino and you try to tame it with regular crystal, the taming efficiency drops naturally. So you have to get the Primal Crystal. And I'm going to be showing you an easy way to get Primal Crystal. So let's go ahead and get started so that you too can tame your very own Crystal Wyvern. If you're looking for tropical wyverns, you want to look for the blue crystal area. It's the nice green area that you see towards the south end of the map. And if you go down and you look in the area where these crystals are located, you will find yourself the tropical crystal wyverns. These are my coordinates right here, and this happens to be a good spawn point that I noticed. 65.1 by 25.9. But again, they're located in the sections where there's the blue crystal. The blood wyverns are located in the area where you see the red crystals. I'm at 54.3 by 32.1. This is where I am on the map, and if you look down below, you can see that there are the blood wyverns. And again, these are all passive right now. I can go right up to them and they will not aggro onto me. You can find the Ember Wyverns in a couple of places. Near Red Obelisk, they like to spawn near here, but there's an even better spot. If you go towards the floating cliffs, there seems to be a big cluster of them that spawn in one area. And this is just the starting area where they spawn. And you can see that there's tons of them. And again, I'm at 45.1 by 68.6. Once they start moving around, you will find them underneath of the floating cliffs, and then they eventually fly towards the red trees. Alright, so now let's go ahead and tame ourselves one of these. It doesn't matter which type of wyvern that you go to tame, because every single one of them is passive tame, and they're the exact same way to tame. You need primal crystals in order to tame them. I recommend that you start off with the tropical crystal wyvern since they are the easiest ones to go after. Now again, when you walk up to these, they are passive, they will not attack you, but the moment that you pull out a gun and start trying to shoot them to knock them out to get the primal crystal in order to tame them, they will be aggressive. So what I'm going to be showing you are two different trap methods that you can use to get the primal crystal and to tame them. The first method that's very primitive is by using stone dinosaur gates, as well as some large bear traps with a little bit of honey. What I thought was you can put down the bear traps, you can throw down the honey, and you can get the wyvern to walk over the bear traps and then trap it yourself. I'm going ahead and throwing down some honey. Put the large bear trap down, and wait for the wyvern to come. But you can see that the ones that are flying come by and eat the honey. So if there are many in the area, you have to be careful. Put down another one. And I'm going to wait for this one that's walking to come to me. It's trapped, so I go ahead and put down the stone dinosaur gates. I put it over top. I put down two of them. I try to put down a third. But you notice that sometimes they can actually walk out. What I found that was most helpful for me when doing this method is focusing on the ones that are flying, because the ones that are walking don't always get trapped using this method, but I'd found the ones that do fly are easiest to trap. So I threw down the honey, put some large bear traps down just in case, and I'm waiting for the ones that are flying. This one came by and ate all the honey, so I quickly go ahead and get the trap ready, put it down, put down a second, and it's trapped. Like I said, the ones that are flying I found to be the easiest ones to trap. You have to put down the stone dinosaur gate before it reaches you, so that way it gets stuck on them. I'm going to go ahead and put down some more of the stone gates, so that way it cannot escape. And you can see that it didn't actually use the bear traps here. Now all you have to do from this point is start shrinking it. Plain and simple, but you have to be careful because the other wyverns in the area, if you start attacking one, they will aggro you. So just be mindful of that. I'm going to go ahead and start shrinking this one. I'm going to show you that you can do it again. Put down the large bear traps just in case if I can get this to work. But the other wyverns are coming by in the area and they're grabbing the honey. So let's go ahead and get the stone dinosaur gate ready. I put it down on this one, but it flies off. And the other one that's flying in the area happens to get trapped along the way. So the flying ones, again, are the easiest for me to trap. But you can still trap the ones that are walking. I've gone ahead and trapped 3 of the crystal wyverns here. And now what I'm going to do is start shrinking this one. This happens to be a low level 25. And I wanted to see how much crystal you got off of different kinds of levels. This is a low level, you go up to it, you take the Primal Crystal, you press E on it, and I got 8 Primal Crystal off of the low level 25. The one in the middle here happens to be a very high level, so I thought to myself, the higher the level of the Crystal Wyvern, the more Primal Crystal you should get from the actual wyvern itself. So I'm going to go ahead and test this with you guys here. I'm just going to go ahead and shrink this, knock it out. And again, this method with the stone dinosaur gate seems to work out very well, because you can see that all 3 of them are trapped. All of them do have aggro onto me, as well as the stone dinosaur gates, because I'm shooting one and the others are in the vicinity. So just be very careful when you are trapping yours. Make sure that there's no others in the area that can get to you, because again, this can be very dangerous, especially if you're doing this with primitive gear. Just going to keep shrinking this until it gets knocked out. And it's knocked out. So let's go up to it, press E on it to take Primal Crystal, and you can see that I got 40, and that was off of a level 140, a very high level one. So more crystal you get from a higher level. On to the next method. I thought to myself, couldn't I build a trap and trap the crystal wyverns in that? And the answer is yes, you can. What I'm doing here is I'm putting down stone foundations and I'm looking to build an 8 by 8. 8 foundations by 8 foundations. Now I'm trying to do this on a semi-flat ground, but if your ground is very uneven, remember that you can use stone ceilings with stone pillars so that you have an 8 by 8. And I'm doing this so that I can put down behemoth gates and some ceilings so that I can trap the wyvern in here to shrink it much easier. So again, have yourself a few foundations, and we're looking to build an 8 by 8. Now that the 8 by 8 is done, we can start putting down our behemoth gates. I like to go into third person when I'm putting down the behemoth gates so that I can see it a little bit easier, and I'm putting it just on the edge here. I'm going to be using 3 behemoth gates for this. I'm just setting them up right now. 3 sides are going to have behemoth gates, and then 1 side is going to have stone double door frames. I'm going to move it over a little bit. And there it is. It's placed down. And there's a little gap right here in case that I want to run through that myself. On this side here, we want to put down stone double door frames. And here's the thing. When you put these down, you want to make sure that you are skipping a gap. So skip that gap and then put down another set of stone double door frames. Skip that gap and then put down another set. And I'm doing this so that I can fit a pterodon through here, because I'm going to be using a pterodon to get the aggro of a wyvern. You want to build these double stone door frames up at least 8, perhaps 9 tiles high. You can build it up as high as you want. The higher it is, the better, the more room that you have to trap your wyvern. Just gonna get a little bit higher. And start putting them up even more. Alright, that looks good. So now I can put in the stone behemoth doors themselves. Go ahead and put those in. Let's close this off. And now the next thing that we need are the ceilings, because we need to make sure that the wyvern cannot escape. So when we put the ceilings down, we just need to focus on the double door frames that we placed, and I'm just going to be doing a straight row that goes from one side to the other. And you have to have the foundations underneath to help support it, because if you left it hollow out on the inside, you would not be able to put down these stone ceilings like I am now. So yes, you do need to have a full complete 8x8 box of foundations. Go ahead and place these down. The wyvern cannot escape through the gaps, so don't worry about these gaps here. We're just trying to do this with minimal resources. And then the last one. I'm just going to leave that one. Doesn't really matter. There we go. And that's plenty enough. From here, we can approach this in two different ways. We can use the bear trap method with the honey that I showed you. I'm just going to go ahead and put down some large bear traps with some honey to show you that this can be done as well too. It is a little temperamental though, because the wyverns do get stuck on the behemoth gate. You have to lure it in with honey, and even though I put the honey on the bear traps, it seems to still want to go for that one piece of honey. So it's best that if you create a line of honey to get it to follow inside the trap. So yes, you can still use the honey with the bear trap method, so that way it gets stuck and it never actually gets aggro onto you. This is a really good method. And again, you can do this in two different ways. You can get the aggro of the wyvern, or you can put honey down. But if the wyvern is too far away, it won't be able to see the honey, as you can see off in the distance. So we need to bring it to us. Close these back gates, and I'm going to use this door here. Get on your pterodon. Go up to it, give it a little peck, and it's going to come flying after you. Make sure it's lined up for the trap, fly through, close the gate, and it can't escape. Make sure that you're very quick about this. It's best that if you're kind of close to your trap, where the wyvern is located, so that a way you don't take that much damage. Now all you have to do from here is go ahead and start shrinking it. And this method here seems to be the best way to trap a wyvern as of right now. You have to be careful because as you can see, it scolded me and I am taking damage. Bring my pterodon back over here so it doesn't die. Get some distance and start shrinking it. The higher the level of the wyvern, the more of the crystal that you get. So it is best that you shrink a high level wyvern. It's going to fly around for a bit. You can design your trap however which way you want, but this just works best for me. And it's knocked out. So go up to it quickly because they wake up quite fast. Take the crystal off of it, and you can see that because it's a high level, I have a lot of crystal that I got off of it. Now I really would like to tame this one since it is a high level, and guess what? It's already in the cage. But the thing is if you're in the area and it wakes up, it will still have aggro on you, so you need to be very careful. What I would recommend that you do is get out of render distance. I'm going to go ahead and grab the other crystal that I saved up, and then we can come back to this. I've just arrived back at the trap. I'm going to go ahead and land my pterodon, hop off, put my gun away. And you can see that he's lost aggro. If yours disappears, then you may as well just go and find another one. Now that he's in the trap, I could just go up to him and passively tame him if I wanted to, but here's the thing. The majority of you who are going to be taming this for the first time probably won't be building a trap like this. Now again, I can go up to it and press E to tame it. The Primal Crystal is the best way to tame it. I'm going to go ahead and let mine out, and I'm going to show you guys a cool trick that you can do if you're trying to chase a wyvern on foot. How do you get the wyvern and how do you tame it? Well, it's actually quite simple. Wait for it to land, and what we're going to do is we're going to jump on its back. It does take a little bit of a try at first, especially if you've never done this before. So just wait for it to land, and then I can show you the easy way. Once the wyvern has landed, jump at its wing. And it's going to take you a little bit of a try at first, guys. And then all you have to do is literally ride on its back and feed it the Primal Crystal. I'm on ×4 right now. This is a level 15. The level 140 went off somewhere. I couldn't find it. That might be it actually over there. And all you have to do is sit on its back and wait for it to get hungry. If it does land and it knocks you off, you will have to go back after it. So if you want to use the trap method to tame it, I would recommend doing that because you already have the wyvern trapped. Plus, you got the crystal off of it, as long as it didn't despawn. You need to make sure that you keep the Primal Crystal on your last hotbar, on your 0 hotbar, and feed it. Now, one thing that people would probably say is why not feed it regular crystal? I did notice that with the higher level wyverns, it doesn't work at all. So don't really try to feed it crystal. The only reason why you would need crystal is if you're going to run out of the Primal Crystal. Alright, I've gone ahead and tamed this level 22. But I see some higher level ones that I would like to tame. Let's go ahead and park it here. Whistle it, put it on passive. And again, guys, this method works with all of the different types of wyverns. The blood, the tropical, and the ember. Wait for your wyvern to land, hop on its wing, climb on its back, and feed it the crystal. It's going to take off with you on its back, but as long as you don't move, you should be fine. I am stuck on its wing, so I am spacking out a bit. There we go. But all I have to do is feed it the Primal Crystal. You're going to need more crystal for the higher levels. This one happens to be a level 130. I'm going to go ahead and skip forward a bit until I have this one tamed up. I think it just needs one more bite and then it's tamed up. On ×4, this took me like only about 4 minutes. So, again, whatever your settings are, you're going to have to feed it more. The Primal Crystal is automatically going on my 0 hotbar. You need to watch the spoil timer on it as well too, so be mindful of that. And it's tamed. So that 130 tamed out to 194. I'm going to go ahead and land this. And let's look at its stats because this was a higher level. 7,000 in health, 890 in stamina, and 305 in melee damage. That's not bad. So what I would recommend to you is that if you're doing this primitive, You can try using the little stone gateways if you want with the honey and the large bear traps. I personally like the behemoth gate method the best because I can kite the creatures into it and I can keep them trapped, I can knock them out, take their crystals, and then I can tame it if it's a high level. Now, one thing that you need to be mindful about is that the Primal Crystal has a spoil timer of 45 minutes. So you need to find the high level quickly after you take the crystal. It's best if you spot it out first and then you go for taming it. But here's the thing. When you put it into a Crystal Wyvern's inventory, you can see that the spoil timer goes up. So right now the spoil timer on mine is 25 minutes, but when I put it in, it goes to 3 hours and 26 minutes. So you want to make sure that if you already do have a Crystal Wyvern, keep the Primal Crystal in its inventory. It will eat it though. As you can see, the Wyvern will eat it, so make sure that you're taking a lot of Primal Crystal with you. And if you don't feel comfortable with leaving it in your Wyvern's inventory, you can keep it on you. But just keep in mind that it will spoil. Alright, so now on to testing all three of the different Wyverns and what they can do. With the Crystal Wyvern, if you look in the top right hand corner of my screen, you can see a little icon with a plus on it, an arrow that's pointing up. You do have a buff when you're flying over water that makes you naturally faster. And if you hold H down, I flew too close to the water. If you hold down H, it tells you your dino's speed, health, regeneration, and damage are boosted. So the Tropical Wyvern, in my opinion, is the best one to go for first because it has that boost for it. So this makes it a really useful mount. It does have the scold damage as well too on creatures and on players. It's not as effective as the other Wyverns, but it's still very helpful. Right mouse button does your scold. C does your flap, and you harvest thatch and wood. But it doesn't deal that much damage with the scold. Onto the Blood Crystal Wyvern. So this Wyvern is a little bit different compared to the other ones. And again, taming this is the exact same that you would do with any of the other Wyverns. But you need to be a little bit more careful because this one has a bleed effect. In order for me to demonstrate this, let me go ahead and show you the health of my Wyvern. I'm going to damage it a little bit so I can show you what it does. I'm going to damage my Wyvern to show you what it can do to creatures. If you look at its health, it's about 785, and it will slowly regenerate. Now, if I go up to a creature, and I hold right mouse button, it does a bleed effect. And if you look at my health, there's a string that was attached, a blood string that was attached. It takes the health from creatures. Certain creatures will give you more health than others, especially if you're going up against a T-Rex, but I wouldn't take a low-level Blood Wyvern with it. So, mine was only a level 20 that I tamed out, so it's very squishy at the moment. It does the same as the other ones. Left mouse button attacks. Left mouse button attacks. C pushes stuff away, and it also harvests. But this one seems to have a really good effect with the bleed. Just be careful if you're going up against a hostile creature. The last Wyvern that I'm going to show you is the Ember Crystal Wyvern. This one's level 142, so it's a little bit higher. Go ahead and put a point into stamina. Left mouse button attacks. C pushes it away, and it also harvests materials. And then right mouse button does a flame. Very much like the Fire Wyvern. And you can see that you still take damage with the flame one. I'm going to go ahead and flame this. And it took that out pretty easily. Alright guys, and that is how you passively tame the Wyverns in Crystal Isles. Again, this is the passive tame method. I will be showing you how to steal the eggs later. Until then, thank you very much for watching. If this video was helpful for you, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you get notified of when I upload next. Until then, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time.